How's it going, everyone? My name is Mark Thomas, host of the Just North Hub podcast.
This is James Winters.
Welcome back after a long hiatus. This is episode 42. Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Episode 104 of the 4 podcasts of the apocalypse.
This is Conquest.
This is Conquest, yes it is. If we want to look at it that way. And this feels good to be back, though.
It feels fantastic to be back.
After we talked today on the phone for 45 minutes about doing this and what we're going to call it, I had this feeling of like excitement that I haven't had for a long time.
Me too. I was just like I'm just excited for so many things with this. Like, it's been a while. I need to get exciting stuff going on in the world so much. Yeah, 100%.
A lot of things going on in the world. I mean, the last time we did a podcast was almost a year ago. Well, a little over a year ago with Sebastian.
Wow.
It was on election night.
Okay.
During the midterms.
Okay.
We did. I don't know what the predictions. I think my predictions were that JD Vance was going to lose, and that Madison Jessiato, she's going to win her pick for Ohio representative. I was wrong.
You were. I don't know why you thought that.
I don't know. Well, no. You know what? I knew JD Vance was going to win.
Okay, but you were hoping. I don't know why you'd be hoping either.
I was. Well, just to say I'm right. Say I'm right. But I was hoping Madison Jessiato was going to win. Just new blood.
Okay.
She's good looking.
Right.
But she lost.
Halo effect.
She lost to someone from the Akron area. Anyways, not important. That's how long it's been. So
too long.
If anyone who saw the announcement video, reason being we're doing this, we have unfinished business, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
I didn't want to leave this thing like we ghost moded it and everyone's like, what the hell? Did he die? No.
Well, maybe.
We might be dying. We don't know. The way the things are going. But we're back. A lot has happened in the world, Winters. So I think.
Yeah, where do we even begin?
Well, I think it's the elephant in the room.
Oh man, the elephant. We're starting with the elephant.
So honestly, everyone knows if you live under a fucking rock, it's a big war going on in Israel and between Israel and Hamas, who is a
hummus, my favorite. No,
hummus.
I'm sorry. I had to make the joke of this once.
I think my dad actually might have called it something close to hummus. He called it Hamas.
I mean,
Hamas.
Hamas.
I don't know.
It's
Didn't
Hamas.
know the pronunciation.
It's Hamas. Okay.
Yeah. So this is going on. This has been a situation that's been boiling over. Probably, it's been boiling for a while. It finally boiled over.
Yeah, with October 7th.
October 7th.
What was it? Like 1,500 deaths.
1,500 deaths. Yeah,
and
that was in the first week or so.
Yeah, well,
Very
they were
quick.
still trying to verify everything because Hamas was like saying they took so many hostage, but they just killed them, and I think there's like around 200, a little more than 200 hostages they actually took back to Gaza, which I think we're unfortunately assuming that they're killing a lot of them too, but we don't know. Maybe we do know at this point. A lot of uncertain information flowing around. That's actually the theme of this whole conflict is like information overload and uncertainty.
I remember the thing. It was probably in the second week of the conflict. They thought there was an Israeli missile that hit the hospital, thinking 500 people died. When in reality,
the Palestinian Authority did.
It was they
claimed
it wasn't Hamas, but it was another.
The PA, Palestinian Authority.
Yeah, it was another sort of jihadist named group that launched the missile. It was kind of working within Hamas.
Oh, you're talking about just Islam? I think they're just Islamic jihadists. Islamic jihadists.
That's in Gaza.
Yeah.
That they launched the missile, but it misfired and hit that parking lot. I think it only killed. I don't know how many people killed. Maybe like.
That was the running theory. So like this has been like a developing story and still is a developing story. At first, some people were like, oh, the rocket fell back down to the hospital and it did the small explosion. And then Palestinian Authority claimed it was a Israeli missile and it killed 500 people at the hospital.
And so many of the media outlets also jumped to the
to the
conclusion it was the Israeli missile, but it wasn't.
It definitely wasn't an Israeli like a missile for. It wasn't an Israeli like bombing missile. Then some people tried to argue it was like. So then the photos came out of like a tiny crater, and the very little damage to the cars in comparison to like what we would expect from like a big actual bomb from the Israelis, and it just didn't have that. So some people said, oh, it was like one of the Iron Dome interceptor missiles. Some people, I think U.S. intelligence and Israeli intelligence agree that it was a misfired rocket that landed back down. But some people are arguing that it wouldn't make sense from the trajectory of the said rocket. So what I'm saying is that we don't know, but it definitely wasn't an Israeli bomb. We know that. And definitely 500 people did not die. If there were, the only way more than 3 people would die is if 50 people were in that parking lot, you know? And that definitely didn't happen. So yeah, I mean, after that though, Israel really did start the bombing campaigns on the hospitals.
Yeah. So to this day, it's not hasn't been announced it's an actual like full invasion yet.
Yeah, but
it's a big operation going on right now.
Yeah.
I would say it's fair to say though, they have conducted their land invasion of Gaza, which is operations.
Yes.
But I think it's very operational. It's not like full on.
Yeah, because they
surround. I think it's these very tactical.
Because their goal is to uproot and remove Hamas.
Right.
Kill them all, and then collapse all of Hamas's tunnels that run all under and through Gaza. Because that tunnel system is the whole reason they actually can't really clear out Hamas through there. Because it would just, with Hamas's setup, you would lose dozens of men to one member of Hamas. Yeah, it'd be terrible.
You have to ask yourself too, in the effort to try and destroy these tunnels, how many hostages is Hamas going to leave in there? Mm-hmm. And then do you want to have hostages die in a fucking collapsing tunnel?
Well, yeah, I mean...
So Israel's, now probably with that situation, they'll have to ask themselves, do we sacrifice?
It's just chaos.
A hostage,
man.
And a hostage that might not even be their own citizen.
Yeah.
Could be an American.
It could be
a Russian.
Yeah, it could be whoever. One of the 200 Israelis that are kidnapped, assumably.
Many nationalities are held hostage. Many.
There's also the
Indonesian, Thai, French.
Yeah, I mean,
you name it.
The fact that they use. Okay. The fact that I'm going to call them what they are, because people are going to disagree with me. Feel free. Hey, any disagreements, put them in the comments. I will
Please
read.
Do.
I will read and discuss with you. This is a very complicated situation. Maybe I don't have the info necessary. Maybe you don't have the info necessary. So let's discuss it out, because I don't think anyone has all the whole story here. But Hamas uses the Palestinian people as human shields. That's why they base under hospitals. I feel like this is indisputable, right? Is that they're hiding under hospitals so that Israel has to bomb through them to get to Hamas, which is terrible. But you can't let Hamas do what they've done and get away with it. Because like people always forget that before 2013, when the Iron Dome was put in, Hamas was launching rockets day after day after day. There was you can go through and read all the people killed. Nearly like every day, every other day, there was another like couple people killed, or 8, 9, 10 people killed for years and years and years. From like you can look from 2003 to 2013, and now they got the Iron Dome. Everyone's like, oh, how Israel? You're just attacking them. And they're just still launching. I don't know. It's messed up, man.
And it's very clear to see that they're using their own citizens as human shields. Discourage them to migrate to the Rafah border with Egypt.
Yeah.
Then encourage them to stay in Gaza, which even the Israeli government has told them get the hell out.
Yeah, get out of Gaza, and especially the part that we're about to bomb. Like,
right.
Like, they even do the warning bomb thing where they blow it up above their heads. Like, so there's no damage from the first bomb. Mm-hmm. They do that like a couple minutes or hours, depends, beforehand, to scare people out of the buildings.
So they have been given the citizens chances to leave.
Right. I mean, right now we're sounding super pro-Israel, but like Israel's messed up a lot of stuff too. So like,
well, the whole Israeli government, it was having many domestic problems too earlier with the court systems.
Yeah. And then also with the settlers in the West Bank. Mm-hmm. Like that's a military occupied zone. You're not supposed to have settlers there, and that's unacceptable. So, but like, and then I think they had something wrong with. They did something messed up in Lebanon recently, or something. I don't have enough information on that. Maybe I shouldn't speak on it.
I mean, there've always been tens of Hezbollah.
Well, yeah, they had, but something happened during. Something happened with a reporter or something is what I heard, but I don't know that's necessarily true.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about
Israel has its loads of problems, and by no means, like any state, it's not a perfect state.
No. But I don't think a one-state solution from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free or whatever. I don't think that's a good idea.
It won't.
I think a two-state solution is probably what we should be going for. We should go back to like was it Oslo or Camp David? I don't remember, but like where it was like 55-45 or something
of the land.
Yeah, something like maybe like all like it was some ridiculous deal. I don't remember off the top of my head, but like Israel proper would have like 55-45 population or whatever.
The thing is, I actually wonder here, and then this could be a big deal. Is how do you actually divide the land up? It would have to be not an even split per se, but it has to be two distinct chunks: Israel, Palestine.
Well, you always have to keep in mind that Palestine has turned down multiple times, two-state solutions that were actually pretty favorable to the Palestinian side. Mm-hmm. One thing you have to remember is that at the time, Palestine had a lot more leverage than they have currently. The Palestinians had a lot more leverage than they do currently. So it looks crazy favorable today. But at the time, well, even the one we're talking about where they get like all this crazy amount of land, that one was favorable at the time. They spit in their face and then they did the second intifada. Intifada is my understanding. But again, there's a lot of information, a lot of history. Who knows? So yeah, it's chaos. Like it's a hard thing to even talk about because there's so much information.
I don't even see this having like I don't think this has a happy ending, in my opinion.
No way in hell. I mean, sorry, yeah.
I think some account I saw on Twitter who's an OSINT defender on Twitter. If you want to look into geopolitics and see what's kind of getting like really good updates, OSINT defender, technical OSINT on Twitter. X. That's one of the big things that happened during this hiatus. We call it Twitter still in these parts. Oh, man. They provide a really good open source intelligence, so that's what OSINT means.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
But if you want to see kind of live updates. But anyways, this OSINT defender said that, kind of his own opinion, he's shown very pro-Israel things, but he said the idea of Palestine, it's probably, now that Israel's going full on retaliation against Hamas, it's probably not going to happen now.
Well,
which I don't know, but it's good. The chance of it happening is very difficult.
Here's the thing: if Hamas was to give themselves up, which they'll never do, and Palestine was to de-radicalize and just relax for a few years, they would get exactly what they want. Maybe not a one-state solution that they want, but they would get a massive deal for a two-state solution, because if Hamas if the Palestinians just acted like chill, the negative things Israel is currently doing would shine through a lot more, and they'd be politically pressured into giving a really good deal to the Palestinians. So,
well, on the contradictory though, it is hard for them, understandably, to act chill when it is, like they said, an open air prison.
I understand that,
So
but
it's
it wasn't always that way.
Right.
It wasn't always that way. Like,
and Hamas was elected, which made the situation more complicated.
Right, and people tried to argue that just because the PLA was the PLO. I'm terrible at remembering names, but
when you said the PLA, I'm like, the People's Liberation Army of China.
No, it's PLO. I think it's PLO, but maybe it is. Again, correct me in the comments or whatever. But the some people were trying to argue it's because they didn't like the PLO or PLA, whatever. Mm-hmm. They didn't like the current government, so Hamas is better, right?
Right.
But like, if there was a poll done, I think, and it's old at this point, but the Palestinians in Gaza have only become more radicalized since then. So this is, I think it was 2013. I feel that's a guess, okay? Maybe it's 2016, but there was a poll done, right? Maybe it was even earlier. But there was a poll done, and 30% of Palestinians supported continuing to fight until they got the one-state solution, right? Another 30% were okay with a two-state solution as long as they continued to fight for one state after they got the two-state, and the rest were okay with a two-state solution where they stopped fighting. So, like, there's a large majority of Palestinians who will fight and fight and fight and fight until they get one state, and there will never be a one-state Palestine.
No.
Without all the Israelis dying. So.
Because the Israelis are as adamant on having Israel exist in some form, capacity.
Right, which makes sense. I mean, this was all started after, it started in like 1908, like with the founder of Zionism or something. But like, after everything that happened in Europe, I mean, I'd want a place that's my own too. That
right.
I'm not gonna.
And obviously,
I'm not gonna get holocausted again.
It's the Holy Land too. I mean, it's where.
Isn't it like a little bit like shifted from the Holy Land? Or am I crazy?
It's the general area that.
Keep talking.
In the Bible, the land of Canaan, and like Judea. Judea is like the area of, I think, Jerusalem, or it's just the land of Judea. It's that whole area.
Yeah.
From like Sinai
Judea
north.
And Samaria. And...
Sinai north. I'm not an Old Testament scholar or anything. This is me trying to recite my understanding from reading some of the Old Testament back in May.
So my very limited understanding is that the settlers in the West Bank use the idea of that it's Samaria or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like it's their ancestral home to move into the West Bank. And that there's like a deadlock in the Israeli government that basically makes it so they have to protect these Israeli settlers, even though they should be removing them or something.
Within the West Bank.
Within the West Bank, yeah.
Right.
I don't mean I'm not like the crazy, like, they're all colonialists. They all must go. Like that's insane.
No,
that's deranged behavior.
They should abide to the law, but the law seems very loosely enforced in the West Bank.
Look, let's be honest, okay? There's nobody down there in the Middle East that's following international laws, okay?
No.
No one gives a shit what the UN has to say down there.
And the UN's basically a spineless organization to these days.
100. I mean, yeah, it's pretty spineless. But
when you have Iran on the head of the chair of a human rights forum or organization in the UN,
that's hilarious.
You have to ask yourself: is this really an organization that is taking itself seriously?
No, we live in a clown world, brother, man.
And you have China as one of your top states that has the veto. Yeah. Come on.
Who's currently and I fucking love how all these people are like, from the whatever to the sea, Palestine will be free. They're saying all this all this kind of stuff and talking about the open air, and no one has ever ever, not once, talked about the Uyghurs. Okay, I mean, look, I don't care. I'll say it. It's disgusting to me, the lack of care about really what it is U.S. bad. I feel like a lot of these people in the West believe U.S. and Western value, West is bad, right? And Israel bad because they're supported by the West or whatever, right? I mean, if it was the multi-decade literal genocide that's going on in China, no one says shit.
That and you see very little outcry about the people of the Kurds. No one cares. There's more Kurds than Palestinians. There's no Kurdistan. Nothing. They are all displaced. Turkey literally.
Displaced is quite the word to use.
They
are being eradicated.
They're being eradicated. Their culture's being eradicated by Turkey because Turkey. Turkey, they changed the name. Don't you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, it's like Turkey now.
Turkey? Why did they change it? Because they didn't want to be the bird?
That's right. That's right.
You didn't like the whole joke of why did Hungary and Turkey go to war?
So that's why, Turkey's been trying to. They continue to try to destroy the culture of the Kurds
and the people
living in southeastern Turkey, but we see little to no word about that.
I mean, because
there's many groups within the Middle East.
To be fair, the counterfactual is there's currently there's current stuff that's very publicized going on in Palestine, between Israel and Palestine right now. So it makes sense they're talking about this right now,
right?
But like, I just want some acknowledgement of the other ones. I mean, like, they aren't. I'll be careful with my words. They're not eradicating the Palestinian people right now.
No, I don't think we. I think when people say this is genocide, that's
you could based off of the dictionary definition of that genocide, right? Because displacement and like moving people can be considered that too, right? And you could argue what's going on in the West Bank with the settlers is such a thing, right? Where they're moving in and replacing them and sending them elsewhere, right? You could argue that's the case, and I think it would fit the definition, the dictionary definition of genocide, but it's not the genocide that like it's not a Holocaust. It's not what's going on.
The Armenian genocide, the one in
people aren't.
What was the big genocide in Africa back in the 90s?
Oh, in fact, I can't remember this. I literally just read about it. My poor brain.
The Rwandan genocide.
Thank you. I was comparing
between the Tutsi and the Hutu.
Yeah. I was like something with the Tutsi, something with the Hutu.
That's a confusing. It is a little bit of a confusing one to understand that one.
Yeah, because people were. The reason I had to learn about it is because I have a big gap in my knowledge of history. I'm not that I'm very read up on history. It's not really my main focus, but
definition of genocide. Let's see.
Yeah.
So this is from Oxford. The deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying the nation or group. A campaign of genocide.
Okay, maybe not then. I thought that like just destroying a quote unquote nation or ethnic, like displacing the ethnic group would count as genocide. But maybe then no, I guess not.
So yeah, I mean, genocide is defined. This is by the Department, the DOJ. Genocide is defined and includes violent attacks with specific intent to destroy in whole or in part a nation, ethnic, racial, or religious group. So, there's some.
What about to the United Nations?
Yeah, that's the big.
I feel like that's the one I heard.
That's a crime committed with the intent to destroy a national, ethnic, or racial, or religious group in whole or in part.
You notice how it's gotten less and less specific as we went through each one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is the one that's like you could argue
That the one most people are probably going.
Yeah,
with.
you could argue that by the United Nations definition, what's currently going on is genocide. You could argue.
You could
because like especially with the whole West Bank stuff, they're definitely kind of doing that.
Yeah, like
They
trying. They in this case, you could debate that they are trying to destroy any chance of Palestine existing as a nation.
Right. Which makes sense tactically and historically in a way.
Right, and also
Even
maybe
if it's
their
terrible.
culture within Israel
Yeah.
and their influence. So, because you have the in whole or in part,
Yeah.
which that's something that's hit on.
You know what I dislike the word that people like to use for this? The apartheid state. I think that's a little bit that I've learned about apartheid, you know, from normal like school history and what I've read on, you know, recently. That's a very different beast. Now, this is a military. Let's just call it what it is. This is a military occupation of an area, right? Of a group of people, maybe a country.
You're talking about the West Bank specifically?
I'm talking about the West Bank and Gaza. This is a military occupation. It's not apartheid state because it's not based off of like a racial group because 20% of Israel and its government is Arab.
Mm-hmm.
Arab Muslim, you know, like, or Arab secular, whatever, but like it's Arab, you know? So like, it doesn't make sense to me to call it an apartheid state because inside Israel proper, for the most part, there are groups within Israel that would like to change this. So, you know, but Muslims and Jews are treated the same.
Right.
They're treated equally. But there are Jewish supremacist groups.
Yes, there's Jewish supremacist groups.
There's
They also treat Christians just as bad in Israel. They spit on them and stuff. And so,
Right, those Jewish supremacists. But like,
those are just Jewish nationalists.
Right, but most of the people, the large overwhelming majority, is for
Chill.
like the laws and the government at large are, I think, fair across religions. So
right. Yeah, I after looking at the definitions, you know, there could be an argument it is genocide.
yeah, I think from a dictionary definition point of view, genocide, but it's not like.
But I don't think the intent's genocide though.
Yeah,
I think it's
which is a messed up thing to say, right? Let's be clear.
yeah.
Like it's a genocide, but it's not that bad of a genocide. That's a rough thing to say.
I don't think that's their intent, like some people think.
I think there are parts of
There are
Israel
parts
that it has that intent.
Yeah, right. Because there's one certain representative from the Israeli government that said that we are going too soft on Gaza, burn it down.
Yep.
Now that would be your part of the Israeli government that probably does want genocide.
Yeah. This I mean I don't know.
But I don't think the leading government forces in Israel though are wanting genocide. They just want to control the situation.
I think so.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, I always like to imagine what else would they be doing right now? Like, how else would you react to this? You could react by not doing anything. You could react in like the softest way possible and like actually give them stuff like, oh, they made this because we were being too hard on them. Let's be nice. But if you do that, then they're going to, then the population at large is going to see, okay, violence works. Violence causes change, right? That's not what you want. In a radicalized population, you don't want to give that message. You want to show that violence is met with violence, which is a terrible thing to do. But at the end of the day, all humans are animals. And sometimes when we're really riled up, it's the only way to respond.
Right.
It's terrible, but true. It's war. Yeah, I don't know.
I also think just with Israel also telling the people to evacuate certain parts of Gaza, there's a part that kind of shows me there is a care that they want the majority of these people safe.
Yeah.
And they are just going for Hamas.
Yeah, people.
But the problem is when Hamas is telling the people don't leave, it's hard to, for these people to go anywhere because Hamas even threatens to probably
do terrible things
to commit violence on them.
Not just that, but you got to remember you're radicalized from
Right.
a very young age. Like, you talk to a 5-year-old male in Gaza, they're gonna say some crazy shit, like, "Oh, I right now I'd be a suicide bomber." Like, they say that I want to do this to, like, the U.S. and Israel and all that kind of shit. So, like, I don't know if this was on the podcast, but it's reflective of videos we've seen recently come out of China, but way more radical than the Chinese youth are.
Right.
Yeah.
And there I've seen a video on Twitter. It's in a mosque, and the teacher was teaching some little kids, like young kids, probably under 10 years old, and saying, that no Jew's a good Jew and shit like that.
That's a
crazy.
Yeah, and anyone who's like, "Oh, Hamas is anti-Zionist,"
and that's the least. That was probably the least offensive thing they're saying. Like, I tell you, they were at least saying that, and it was more radical than, I don't want to try and reflect too much on the video because I don't want to mess something up.
Yeah.
Like, I can assure you, they were saying that the teacher to the kids was saying, no Jew's a good Jew.
Well, you can just look at, like,
so
what's taught in the West Bank, which is arguably less radical.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, and not only that, but, like, you can look at the stated goals of Hamas. It isn't. Yeah, well, I guess they recently changed it, and that's why they were able to become recognized. But their charter is to eradicate Jews everywhere. They want I think it's called a Khalifa, or is it Khalifka? Terrible with words. But it's the Muslim one world order, right? That's also Hezbollah's stated goal, right? And the leader of Hezbollah has been quoted in saying,
Hezbollah, not Hezbollah.
Sorry, I'm saying the little guy.
Yeah, little.
Say it for me again.
Hezbollah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Incompetence abounds.
Let's make sure.
I think it's spelled with an E, right? No.
Hezbollah.
Yeah, it's Hezbollah. I'm saying it right.
Hezbollah.
Yeah. Hez. No, I'm talking about not talking about the little guy.
No, yeah, but I want to make sure we get the little guy.
Yeah, I'm saying Hezbollah. I'm saying it correctly. I'm saying it right. Yeah,
Hezbollah.
Easy. Hez. Put that in. It'll come up right away. Yeah. I'm not crazy. You're crazy, okay? But Hezbollah has stated, the leader has stated in the past, I hope all the Jews come to Israel. So it's easier to hunt them down. I don't have to go across the entire planet to do so, pretty much, It's a heavy paraphrase, but it wasn't even in English, probably, I'm assuming. So, but that is it. Like, they want to kill all Jews. It's heavily anti-Semitic, right? I'm not saying that Israel hasn't caused this anti-Semitism to become much more rampant.
Right, and it's both sides.
It's both sides, but because that's what every conflict is, both sides, obviously. I mean, look at Germany and Great Britain in World War II. The German bombings killed, like, what? What was it? Was it like 40,000, or was it way more than that? But
the bombing of Britain. I don't know.
Yeah. But the counter bombing in Germany did like 2 million deaths.
Yeah.
More people died to U.S. napalm in Japan than nuclear bombs. Okay, like war is an ugly thing.
War's hell.
Yeah, it's hell. Like, I don't know. It's just a tough topic. Like, it's hard to say anything with certainty because there's not enough information. But there's so much information. I feel like you have stuff to talk about. I don't know.
How do you see this ending?
How do I see
as
it
of now?
As of now, that's a tough one.
With so much of the world and
you want me to be honest?
Society pushing the pro-Palestine.
I think about 10 to
from the pushback against the Western nations back in Israel and stuff.
I actually don't feel like I don't feel like that pushback will actually materialize.
You don't think it'll matter?
It will matter for public perception,
but it won't matter
like
in
support
terms
from
of
the UN. But maybe not. I don't think from the U.S. I think the U.S. will stay connected with Israel as long as they don't go over like any crazy numbers with deaths.
Right.
I can't imagine a world where Israel racks up 40,000 Palestinian deaths if you combine like Hamas plus civilians.
Oh yeah.
Right now they're like 4,000 or they 3,000 something.
It's getting up there. I saw a number that might have been even higher, to be honest.
If they go over 40,000, maybe then they run into like U.S. support. I think over 10,000 it's gonna get a little rocky, but it's not gonna be that big of a deal.
In Gaza, more than 11,200 Palestinians. Fuck.
Okay, wait. That's Al Jazeera. They're very partisan. Yeah. No. Don't
BBC.
Do you know? Have you seen Britain recently?
that's what I was like. Relief Web.
God,
let's go Relief Web. I don't know this website.
Maybe it is. Maybe 4,000 children. Oof. You see, but here's the thing. A lot of this comes from the Palestinian Authority. Now, some of it's been checked by the UN too, I think.
What's this?
Why don't you just look up the UN? The UN's numbers on it. Because the United Nations does. Okay.
11,000.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, these are the rough numbers. I mean, it seems like this is kind of like the average we're seeing.
I thought it was half this. That's crazy.
So,
but I could, like I said, I could see 40,000.
It's plausible.
I could see 40,000. I think over 10,000. You know, like I said, things are gonna get rocky for them. If they, okay, this is how I see it ending. I see a shit ton of violence. Right, Hamas's leaders may get caught or expelled.
And the Israeli military has been doing a good job in taking out certain leaders of certain like military groups within. I think of the actual term, like certain regiments in the military. I don't know.
Or like generals. Is that
generals? Certain military leaders of like certain
the radical side. I don't know.
Of Hamas.
Yeah, Hamas.
I can't think of the word though.
Yeah.
Certain garrison leaders and stuff like that.
Okay. I mean, like, I think this results in. Yeah, no, it's gonna be 40,000 people. 40,000 people are gonna die,
and that's a month. So
yeah, no. I can imagine it's going on until. You think they stop for Hanukkah? No,
they're not going to stop.
They're not going to stop.
I think there'll be a decrease.
Oh yeah.
But
they're still they're all fired up right now.
I don't. They're
40,000.
There's going to be a decrease in the amounts of attacks, but I think they're going to keep it going because they don't want to let their guard down.
Yeah, I think it's going to be about 40,000. That's my guess. And at the end, and then they're going to be forced to pull settlers. Or be a lot more aggressive about pulling settlers out of the West Bank to maintain support from the West. Not that, and people will say if the West stops supporting Israel, that Israel will fall apart, and that's not true. Israel is one of the the biotech center of the world right now, right? So like, and GDP wise. They have enough to fund this. They can go on their own.
Yeah,
Israel if they have to fund, if they're by themselves though, they're gonna be a lot more aggressive. They're not just gonna, attack and occupy. They're gonna flatten shit. So like, because they're gonna have to. It's just more cost effective.
Well, it's like that meme we looked at. If Christians didn't care about Israel, it chose it's Palestine. I even though it's a funny joke.
It's not quite true.
No, it's because, like you said, Israel's very capable.
Yeah, they're very clever.
They have a lot of domestic military equipment. Some of the top, some of the best spyware too.
Yeah, you got the Pegasus, right? Is that what it's called? Something like that?
I'm not sure.
I think it's called that, but I'm gonna get put in a bag or something because I said that.
Yeah, Israel is very capable. This is Israel's livelihood. Is the protection of their state. This is their industry.
Right.
Making military equipment.
Yeah, but
intelligence equipment.
You don't know about their biotech stuff. Then they're at the cutting edge.
I don't know much about the biotech world. No.
Oh, it's insane. Let's just leave it at that. It's insane because they have the 3D printing, like they got the stem cell stuff. They have all kind like genetic research. If it's biotech, they got it. Okay. Yeah. Israel's crazy with the biotech, but yeah, okay.
No, I agree. I think the amounts of deaths are going to go up. Probably around. It's going to go up a couple more. Definitely a couple more thousand.
A couple more. It's going to be 40,000. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be high.
20,000 at least. Okay, I promise.
And it probably will, unfortunately, mostly be Palestinian deaths.
Oh yeah, because like for every, I'm going to guess 10 Hamas, you got to go through like at least 10 human shields. Okay.
Right.
If not like 20 or 30.
And the amount
because they're hiding under hospitals.
And the amount of the OSINT Defender has been posting about Israeli deaths. There's not really been a lot of Israeli military deaths.
No, because they've been doing things from afar. Like
right.
They haven't done a full scale like guns blazing target individuals.
Well, even if these operations do not, hasn't been as many as I thought there'd be.
Right, and my understanding is that they go in to like control the situation, not to like take out people.
Right.
But like, because like if they're, this has been seen. When was this? I feel like it was in Iraq. But a terrorist group had 12 hours to set up, and the full force of the U.S. Army came in, and the ratio of deaths was like 1 to 10.
Just did what the U.S. Army does.
Well, no, the U.S. Army's getting messed up actually.
Oh, they were?
I can't believe that. Yeah. Because they had time to get settled into the urban environment. It's a very tough environment.
Oh, urban. Okay.
Yeah, if you're trying to avoid...
I didn't know you meant urban.
Yeah, if you're trying to avoid civilian death, you have to... It's terrible. It's a 1 to 10.
And this is the worst type of warfare, urban.
Yeah, and then what happened was the U.S. stopped fighting them, individually. If someone shot from their house at them, they just... airstriked it. They drone strike that shit. That's literally what they did, and they cleared it out that way. So like
President Obama's favorite way of handling things.
you can't when an organization this violent and this determined is entrenched this deeply into an urban area, you can't go with boots on the ground. I was trying to explain this to a friend of mine recently that is more pro-Palestinian, right? Mm-hmm. And she was telling me how like
even armor is going to be tough.
Yeah, like you just
because they RPG that in a corridor.
Yeah,
it can't back up.
No,
especially if it's in between two other pieces of armor. Can't.
Yeah. So it's like I was trying to explain that if they do what you're saying, like special operations, this and that, right? Or that like it's just gonna be death on the Israeli side. Like there's no victory there.
Right. So this is why Israel is mostly just doing bombardments with artillery, air superiority.
It's what you have to. It's what you have to do. And you can't not respond because we've seen what happens when you don't respond. They get emboldened by it, right? And you can't. Yeah, it's so fucked up.
Yeah, this could. I definitely see this going on for another couple months.
I see the ramifications lasting decades.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe after this, maybe after Israel gets their just desserts, they'll come to a peace agreement after they fucking ram through the place. Israel's
gonna still exist. That's
for sure.
That's a given.
That's for sure because they have nuclear weapons. Is my understanding. Right. So like. Who's gonna stop them? It'd have to be us, and we're not doing that. It'd have to be us. I guess if all of NATO besides us, but we support NATO too. Yeah, if every Arab country turned against Israel all at once, I think Israel could stave them off by themselves, if not more. And at that point, we would help them because it'd be a quote unquote unfair fight.
Because at this point, Hezbollah doesn't seem like they don't want to get involved.
Well, because Israel was focused on Hamas and trying to like do more targeted attacks.
Right.
So when Hezbollah joined in, I think Israel just launched a fuck ton of rockets at them. Like not targeted at all, just we're just gonna kill all of you.
And it's been all these skirmishes on the border.
Yeah, so like and Hezbollah's like, okay, we're done with that. That's a terrible idea.
And Hezbollah's leader has basically came out and said, rooting for Hamas, but basically said,
yeah,
good luck.
Yeah, we're done distracting them.
We'll support you.
We're done distracting them.
Right. And Iran's
like, oh, we didn't send them money. Liars. Fucking liars.
This is one thing I'll say. Iran's not going to get involved with this directly. At this point. This point.
Yet. The moment they let the fucking Taliban through.
yeah. Well, I think the Taliban's are busy if they're trying to keep their state sane.
You know, if Iran gave them the go ahead, they'd drop that shit for war. You know they would.
Oh yeah,
dude. Apparently, this is according to I don't know if you guys have heard of Lord Miles. Have you heard of Lord Miles?
No, I have not.
The guy who went to Afghanistan. He got taken by the Taliban. His buddy said he might be a spy, even though he's obviously not a spy. He was just a dumb Brit bonger on holiday, okay, as they say. And he got held there with the Taliban, but they were chill with him.
Interesting.
They watched movies. The best treated prisoner of the Taliban of all time, okay?
Right.
And he had a good time.
It could have been an agreed thing, just like, hey, like, you make us look good. It could have been.
I would guess, if I didn't hear his story personally, I would guess that, but I don't think it was. The Taliban showed a lot after they got their sweet revenge and beheading some people that helped the U.S. and all that kind of shit. They chilled out. I
think Iran's will be very careful with this war.
They have to be, because they can't. If the Saudis end up siding with Israel, they're screwed.
Yeah, the Saudis basically putting everything on hold, and Iran's been building up for years now.
Yeah,
they know they have too much to lose. Like they are on their way to being the big daddies in the Middle East.
They're on their way to getting nuclear weapons. Is what the real thing is. Real nuclear weapons.
The only thing they got to basically outmatch is Saudi Arabia,
which they won't.
Saudi Arabia has the economic power.
The Saudis are just built different.
Well-equipped military.
You seen that stupid wall thing they're building?
The
wall, the two walls, like mirrors across the desert. Oh my god. Anyways, that's just how much money they have. They can just start.
They're wild.
They can start projects that are, as tall as skyscrapers and as long as the Great Wall of China. Okay, like
that'd be an interesting country to visit.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, man. It's gonna be
I don't know. I don't know if I want to visit anywhere in the Middle East. Maybe Qatar. Qatar. That's the way to pronounce it. Qatar. Qatar.
Yeah. There's it's a little bit better thing. There's a better way. I can't say.
Yeah. Qatar. The UAE.
Okay.
That'd be kind of cool. The UAE.
Yeah.
Chill out there. They love Americans. They just see the big old Benjamin slapped on us.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Americans. Come to our
free money.
Come to our beaches
for free money. Yeah.
Fuck, I'll go to those beaches there. Yeah, they're beautiful.
I don't want to know if I want to. I don't want to go there personally until things settle out. Maybe in a few hundred years. Okay.
Maybe a few hundred years. Yeah.
Maybe by then we'll all be barbarians again, though. Who knows? Nuke ourselves to death.
So time will tell. It's hard. I don't want to make any predictions on shit.
I do.
We make predictions, but there's a point though. Making a prediction is kind of. It's not useless.
Oh, it's the height of hubris. That's why I'm laughing when I do it. Because like, you can't know.
It's really hard. It's like one of these YouTubers I watch. What if Alphys? And I know he's kind of a controversial name. Some geopolitical. Have I told you? I'll send you his channel tonight.
Okay. I mean, I feel like I've heard about him before.
He basically says, making these predictions, it's like betting against God. which is true.
I'll do it every day. Put it all on black, baby.
So yeah, it's hard, but yeah, my other predictions will be that Israel will still come out on this, but there's going to be some long-term ramifications.
Oh yeah,
but these are the just obvious predictions.
Yeah, I mean, Israel's going to survive.
I can't say that.
I can say that guaranteed.
I just can't say what's going to be the situation of Palestine and Gaza.
I personally believe there will be a Gaza after this. Okay, I know that might be a hot take, but I actually believe that. Well, maybe I want to believe that. I'm not sure.
I think there will be, but I saw even something that there is. And I think this is kind of been toying around, like some sort of coalition occupation force with like the U.S., France, just some kind of like conglomerates of nations. It might occupy. Israel might be an occupier, kind of like peacekeeping force, just to occupy it. Just
I've heard this idea. I've not heard it have anyone like. I have not heard it taken seriously.
No, it's just more like these are just toying around ideas.
Because it sounds like a terrible idea.
It's going to be terrible.
I would not sign up for it.
For the peacekeepers, it's going to be terrible. Trying to get the public support of it, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah, I mean, because like you're gonna have the people who support Israel be like, why don't I let Israel do it? You have the people who support Palestine and be like, how dare you occupy them? So,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, one thing I always like to remind people is if the Palestinians dropped their arms, became de-radicalized, 5 years, they'd have themselves a 2-state solution, okay? Tops. I think it happened in a year, personally. Okay? Maybe not after October 7th, but prior to that. If Israel drops their arms, stops doing all kinds of border stuff, there's no Israel like in a week. Maybe faster. And no more Jews living there either. They're all, bad things happen to them, okay? But, so, like, yeah.
Well, that's another thing. The amount of anti-Semitism that's been going up.
Oh, man.
You see it's all over the place online.
We shouldn't have started with this topic. People are going to not want to watch the rest because we said some hot-ass takes so far.
I don't think so.
I think they're relatively level-headed. But for some people, what I'm saying may be akin to heresy or something.
Well, because I think there seems to be, for the majority of people, if you are on either pro-Israel side or pro-Palestine, it's like you can't play devil's advocate in any way. You're either just...
We played devil's advocate the whole time.
Right.
Because like we mentioned the fucked shit, some of the fuck shit that Israel has done. I mean,
we haven't hit the tip of the iceberg. They're on the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, and everyone likes to bring up and I think there has been massacres done by the Israeli side that are unjustifiable. I mean, I don't know enough about this, so maybe I shouldn't talk about it. But the March of Return one seems a little. I don't know. That one made me question. Man, that's messed up. But maybe at the same, like I've also heard like conflicting stories because of course there are. But yeah, but like don't forget that like daily people were dying, like dozens of people, at least 3 or 4 nearly every day. Maybe not every day, but at least a couple times a week, once a week. We're just getting bombed. Like cafes are just being blown up and shit. Like for a decade at least. Okay. Like let's not forget why the Israelis are so ready to do this crazy shit. Like ready to just bomb a city, even though there are human shields, because they've had a goddamn enough. Like if I was shooting at you, before you got a bulletproof vest on, and I hit you a couple times and that hurt, but you survived, and the next time you see me, you're wearing a bulletproof vest and I shoot you, I don't think I'm gonna. I would expect that person to act like I just shot them. You know what I mean? Right. Not like they're wearing a bulletproof. Oh, I'm wearing a bulletproof vest, so I'm fine. No, I just shot you. And yet Israel's just been taking it. That's an exaggeration because Israel's been doing some fuck shit too. Mm-hmm. But the whole thing with the rockets, just intercepting them over and over again for so long, is it's what I'm saying is that no one's blameless.
I remember there was some rocket shit going on back in the spring.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it's
There's
part
always
of the way.
rocket shit going on. They never stop.
Yeah.
They died. Maybe they died down for a bit, but then they're building. I mean, it's $500 a rocket, right? Or is it $200? I think it was $500. They're simple rockets, man. I mean, we could build one.
The ones what Hamas uses.
Hamas uses, they're easy to build. But those missiles that Iron Dome uses are like crazy advanced.
Crazy advanced and crazy expensive.
$50,000 maybe per missile.
Well, that's why it's the best.
Maybe it's 55. I don't know, but yeah, it's insane.
It's expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive as fuck.
So yeah, we'll be. I guess it's only to this point. Just watch where this goes.
Yeah, we have to. I mean, yeah.
It's just I also think the social side of this is also where the battle is not occurring is the more just as interesting. I would say
just as interesting.
I wouldn't say it's more interesting
because it's hard to be more interesting than what's going on.
Right.
The heavy disinformation, spy, all this kind of stuff going on. But yeah, the way people have acted on social media, the partisan nature of the reaction.
Like you said, the almost like you're either one side or the other, and if you're on pro-Israel, you can't maybe play, well, let's kind of look at this. No. It's kind of like there's no objective look in it. And if you are, like us, you're almost kind of demonized. Like you can't say that Israel's doing something wrong, or you can't say that the Palestinians are doing something wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're both doing shit wrong. I don't know. I don't know who wants to hear this, but they're both assholes. Okay. And people who want to justify the Palestinians have been oppressed for so look. Okay. That doesn't justify going purposely killing civilians. Israel kills civilians. That they're collateral. Those are very different things.
Right.
Those are very different things. And acting like you can argue. Now this is a good argument that 11,000 deaths, right? Let's say 90%. It's probably more. Let's say 95% are collateral, right? Say 95% are collateral. Then
the deaths are definitely collateral. They're a huge chunk of it is.
Yeah. I'm saying like 95%. Maybe it's less than that. Maybe I'm not.
I don't know if that 11,000 if they're actually counted as let's see.
Yeah, but like
I want to see if that's actually being counted as civilians.
Like how many deaths collaterally equals intentional deaths? I don't know. I couldn't tell you that. And it's a tough thing to say. What's the value of a human life versus a human life, or what's the value of intent? I have no idea.
Hamas, the death's sake, none of that was collateral. What'd you say?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. None of it was collateral.
No, it was all purposeful. Like it was intentional. Right. Yeah, that's why I'm saying there's a difference. Because if Hamas's deaths, if Hamas's killings were collateral, then I would say Israel's overreacting, 100,000% overreacting. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But those were intentional deaths. It's a very different ball game now. You know?
Look at how many of Hamas have been killed.
You can't know that because...
All right, I just want to see if there's any...
Yeah, no one knows that. No one knows that. All they know is that 11,000 people have died.
Yeah, I don't know.
15 to 50,000?
It's very... Yeah, there's no way.
No one knows shit. That's one way to say no one knows shit about anything. Okay. But yeah, we needed to get off. Yeah, because this is a hot topic, and it's too terrible.
It also kind of puts after a while you kind of just start. Your mind is like, okay, I need a break from this.
Oh, I mean, not me. I'm messed up though.
Well, even you said like after looking at this for a while, you just start getting. It fatigues you a little bit.
Oh yeah, because I was trying to suck in all the information all at once because I was like, I can always overcome disinformation if I just get more information. There's too much. There's too much for me. I'm like, I got 6 screens running, all multi-tab, all the multi-screens. And I'm like looking at like different news sources. I'm looking at different feeds, having different audio sources. And my brain exploded, okay? It was terrible. Useless. I felt like a drop in an ocean, It just was too little info.
Yeah. There's a lot of info, and it's kind of
A lot of it's fake. You got to sort
hard,
it.
Yeah, it's hard to absorb it and just kind of, and also to just try and think it through.
Yeah, and like, is this a different perspective of the same event, or is it a different event? You know, like it's in another language. I can't quite tell. Like, is Google Translate going to be accurate? What's going on? You know, like, yeah, I don't know.
Let's take a break.
It's done. It's done.
Take a break. I gotta pee. And
how dare you?
Okay, I burned just north of hell on the screen.
It's fading.
Yeah, it's fading. You know what's funny though? After many years of playing Minecraft every day,
there's the little.
For the longest time, there's the Minecraft hotbar. It just sat there.
That's funny.
It's finally gone now, though. It's finally gone.
I don't know. I feel like if you look really close.
Maybe you have to look close. All right, we'll be back. And boom, we're back. After a long.
Yeah. No. Short. We were so fast. Pretend you don't see the 908 in the corner on the TV. Okay.
They're not paying attention.
So we finished. We're gonna say we finished, even though there's no finishing that topic. Our first topic.
Well, you were talking to me earlier today.
Yeah.
We could talk about election shit if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You're talking to me about this reality topography thing.
Oh.
What is this about?
We'll save that for another day.
Is this another deep thing?
That's a deep dive. That's a
deeper than Israel and Hamas.
You could argue, definitely.
Well,
okay.
Give me like a 5 minute, just little just
a 5 minute.
What the definition of this? What's the definition?
Okay, so
is this something that Bonnie would like to talk about?
Maybe. It's the idea of viewing a world through a map of connections instead of through our current logical understanding of the world.
Okay.
It's a little bit woo. It's a little bit far out there. Maybe a little woo woo.
I'm
okay.
I kind of get what you mean to some degree. Like
it's very intuitive, but like it's a long thing. It's a long thing.
Is this something you've been reading or something like you've thought of?
I've been reading and I've had my own thoughts on because I always have my own thoughts on everything because I'm just that arrogant and insane. But yeah. You know, very interesting. I'm not gonna go into that right now because I want to talk.
I brought up Israel and Hamas
on equal terms. I'll bring up. You know what? I'll bring it up. Ohio is kind of based right now. Okay.
On issue 2.
On issue 2.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Very based. Okay.
It is.
How many? As of Thanksgiving, it'll be like 2 weeks until, or a week or two until marijuana is officially legal.
Well, I saw DeWine. I didn't really read into it, but I saw that he kind of wants to like alter it.
You can't. No.
Like, he kind of wants to fuck around, like maybe lower like the amount that could be sold or like the potency. I don't know.
No. That's bullshit. If anything, we should increase the amount. It doesn't make any sense. Currently, according to the law, you're allowed to grow up to 6 plants, but you're only able to have, was it 2.5 or 3.5 ounces?
I don't know.
One plant on its own can produce 32 ounces. You're able to have up to 6 plants. That's 192 ounces.
The math ain't mathing.
The math ain't mathing. That's what I said. The math ain't mathing. Paraphernalia is still like a gray area or something. Look. They can't come and arrest you for weed anymore. That's great. Love it. They don't put limits on how much beer I make. I can make 55 gallons of beer right now.
You could.
I could do whatever I want with beer, right? And you know,
Mr. Beer doesn't have a limit to Mr. Beer kits.
Right. So like, you know, distilled alcohol has limits and laws on it, right? So maybe you could view it as, you know, resin from weed should have laws on it because it's very powerful. Though, you know, I don't think that makes much sense personally. But I don't think any laws on what humans can do to themselves make sense personally. But that's my radical opinion. But from a logical perspective, it doesn't make any sense that you're only allowed to have 3.5 ounces, but able to have up to 6 plants.
Yeah,
Now it's
that's what I said.
3.5 ounces on your person. But like, what if I'm moving my plants
Right.
and they're budded all out? You got 32 ounces of weed. I'm about to harvest.
Well, you have to harvest it still.
Right. Okay. And,
So that shouldn't count,
And then you're allowed to have like only so much in storage, and it's definitely not 192 ounces. I'll tell you that. I read that and
Translate as fuck.
chugga. But it doesn't make much sense to me personally. Okay. That's all I got to say about that. I guess not all I have to say, but
I mean, yeah,
you're allowed to grow it in your own home.
I think it's great.
I think it's excellent.
I know
It's
a
totally
lot
tubular
of
or something.
older people who are against it, Gen Xers.
I know Gen
boomers.
Xers who are for it.
Maybe some of the people in my corner are against it. I also know a Zoomer who is opposed to it, but the only statistic they bring up is that, well, there'll be more, instead of now drunk drivers, we have high drivers driving around.
That's that stat is highly debatable because we don't see any increase. In fact, I think we see some amount of decrease in the amount of car accidents caused by inebriation in areas that have completely legalized recreational weed, right? Also see a massive decrease over time in opioid usage, okay? Which is a major crisis that Ohio's been facing for decades now.
I think we're second in the nation.
Yeah. You know, and people say that's, oh, no one lives here and we're all addicted to heroin. We're the 7th most populous state in the U.S., okay?
Yeah.
Okay? 7th highest GDP, too. Okay, so...
Was this why you're kind of like text me randomly on Discord?
Oh, my God,
Your rant about people dissing Ohio. Why is that one? What triggered this?
Oh, okay. I was watching some stupid video
Yeah.
of these influencers that... I was about to call them stupid, but they're just influencers, okay? Imbecile. Doing a meet and greet or whatever in was it Detroit, Michigan? I think it was Detroit. And the people from Michigan, you know, they have nothing better to do with their lives. They hate on Ohioans, okay? Yeah, if you're from Michigan, I honestly have no problem with you, but apparently you guys have a problem with us, okay? But yeah, they were just saying all kinds of shit about Ohio.
Just stroking a wrong
And
chord with you.
these Canadian and leftist hellhole city influencers were like, "Oh, is that how Ohio is?" I went there; it was like a ghost town once. I'm like, "No, God." Anyways, sorry. I got back to what I was saying. More importantly, so issue 2 was good.
Issue 2 passed. Issue 1 unfortunately passed.
Issue 1 passed. Now, I know that it's not a popular thing to say in this environment, but I had a change of perspective about issue 1. Okay?
Yeah. It's
I used to think it was like I voted no on it. To be clear, I voted no. But I had someone convince me maybe yes should have been my answer. And that sounds crazy.
Who?
Or
someone.
A friend of mine.
Okay.
Friend of mine. Okay.
Okay.
And like it wasn't really the arguments they gave me. It was the arguments I kind of gave myself that convinced me.
Mm.
Everything I've ever voted for has removed government from the equation. If I think about it, that's what I vote for.
Right.
Why am I voting to allow the government more power? Now, I don't like the fact that the precedent is being used for no parental notification for whatever, for minors getting sex changes or whatever, or that it might be like because that legal precedent has happened elsewhere, so it might be used for that. Or not, it might be, it will be used for that. And I don't like the late term abortions. I think they're abhorrent.
No, they're sick.
They're sick. But fuck the government. You know, I refuse to give them more power. I realized that no was the wrong answer Maybe. It's so tough. I mean, I really hate the idea of killing off human potential like that.
That and also the no parental notifications.
Yeah, that's obviously bad. Like that's got to be stopped for sure. But
18 afterwards.
18 afterwards, I don't care if you attach dicks for fingers. Okay, that sounds hilarious. You actually should do that. I would like to see that. It sounds very funny.
Don't fucking touch me though. Don't touch me.
Penis fingers. But sorry, but
I think issue 1, in my opinion, with the parental thing, not noticing parentals for any it
was such a vague law used for so much stuff.
Well, was it specifically hitting at the child, like sex change or anything sexual with the children?
Yes. So like even though in the law it didn't say that specifically, it said no government interference. And
would that even go as far as a child want to get their HPV shot from a doctor? The parents would have to know.
I don't think so. I don't know, but it's about all reproductive rights.
So that could be
even for minors. I think for minors, even you can go get you have individual reproductive rights. So that extends to sex change surgery.
Right. But so now that's in place. So now minors in Ohio could do these decisions without telling their parents.
150% they can.
Granted, I don't know how they're going to do that in a sense. How minors are going to get around that, but maybe if they're not close to the parents, they could do these things. Or go to an abortion clinic behind their parents' back. Well, I agree with individual freedom. There is an importance of having your parents guide you in.
What if your parents are dog shit, Marky? That's the argument.
It's true.
What if your parents are dog shit? What if they're just terrible people who want to make you suffer? What if you got impregnated by your father and he's forcing you to carry to term?
I think this won't let two exceptions.
You tell anyone that it's incest or whatever.
That's when we get into exceptions.
Okay.
It's a very divisive topic. It's not easy to formulate a good answer.
Yeah. I just realized that.
But I think the parents, good parents, are going to ultimately do the best to guide their child the best. There are shitty parents out there.
100%.
I think a child needs that dynamic between a mother and a father.
No doubt.
Just two good people to guide them.
Really, children need a whole village, right? Like we should be living with our families. Like you should be living with your mom and dad. You should have your full family. You should have a job that's good enough to, optimally to pay for your own shit everywhere, But have your mom and dad live with you, and have like a whole family unit thing going on, like a lot of cultures do. I don't know why it's so looked. I mean, I do. I understand the whole individualism thing. I understand the cultural significance in America, particularly of like your own house, your own way, right? But it just makes sense financially and for the future of your children to have more support around.
Or be in proximity,
Now, will I be living with my parents when I have kids? That's funny. If I have kids,
you never know what lovely woman you will meet.
No, I will not be living with my parents. That sounds like a terrible idea. So, like, I won't even be practicing what I preach. So, take it with a grain of salt, I guess. But yeah, you're 100% right. But I also think that I really hate the government having power over people in any way, shape, or form. So I realized that it's kind of ridiculous because back in the day, before we had governments, people would just fucking go into labor and kill that child afterwards.
Right.
So like that was a very common practice around the world, right? Now, do I think that's right? No, that's barbaric and disgusting.
It's barbaric.
It's disgusting. But I try to I don't think my morals are man, that's so tough. I'm trying to say it like I'm confident about it, but really I'm not. My morals shouldn't come into legality. I think I should pick what's best for society, right? And you can't.
I don't think either.
I don't know.
I don't think either voting no or yes is really. I don't think either way is a true right best for society.
Yeah, I agree. Right, but
Because also with issue 1,
yeah,
you also have the problem with the abortions weren't regulated. Now I'm pretty sure the abortions aren't regulated exactly.
no,
There's no like set procedure how it would be done by the state.
right. So you can
Which
get like all kinds of fucked shit.
That's opens up a lot of gray area,
Right.
and that could endanger mom.
Mm-hmm.
It could. Well, yeah, it mostly endanger mom.
Well, we have most things with medical stuff are done through private stuff, right?
Right.
And the idea of liability, which is very different from liberty. Maybe you could, it's the opposite, but the liability and tort in courts have more than kept medical professionals in check. So I can imagine that's fine. Like there will be, if they fuck up, they'll get sued to hell and back, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, another argument is that like stuff with issue 1 can be fixed. It won't be. But that was the argument that I heard, and it's better to have some than none. And I'm like, I don't know. It's not that we don't have none. I don't know.
Yeah, issue 1's in place now, and it can't get overturned now too, because it's in the Constitution now.
It can be. You just need a supermajority to overturn it.
Yes. Did that pass with the one supermajority thing back in?
Fuck no.
It didn't pass. I can't remember.
No, that's why. Okay, so that was set up to set this up. So so what we wanted to do was change it to 66, like a 60% majority, right? Or 66.
We wanted it. We wanted to make it a supermajority.
Yeah. We wanted to make it a supermajority to prevent radical changes to the Constitution of Ohio, which you could argue about. Because this is a very this amendment. I wish it was more dialed in because it was so broad and it was purposely made broad to allow for a lot of shit to fall under it, which makes sense from a political perspective, I guess. But like, it's a terrible way to handle, something like this. But yeah.
So that never passed. It's still just a status quo.
Yeah, no, it's still like 51%. If 50% plus 1 will get it passed. But I think it was a pretty strong majority for issue 1. I think it was pretty strong.
Yeah, it was, both issues were rather strong, actually.
I expected issue 2 to be like overwhelmingly strong. But so it's what the people wanted. Yeah. Issue one was what the people wanted.
Right.
I like I said, I even voted no. I'm always willing to tell people what I voted on shit, okay?
Yeah, I voted no and yes.
I voted no and yes as well. That's 100%. If they let me vote twice on yes and it wasn't illegal, yes for issue 2, I would have voted 17 times, okay? But, I only get 1 vote, so.
Yeah, I think now, it's ultimately going to lead, I think, that, I think a lot of states are going to eventually just start implementing, more pro-abortion and
100%. It's not going to stop. It's people still believe that we have a population problem, which is, look, it's provably untrue that we have an overpopulation problem. It's just not true.
No, it is. Look at the demographics in China, Japan.
Look at the demographics
Europe.
in currently developing countries, like currently developing parts of the world, like different African countries, and then compare them to the United States 100 years 75 years ago. It's the course of things. They're gonna get modernized, developed. They're gonna have a bunch of babies because they're still gonna have that conservative idea of like having children and all that kind of stuff floating around their head. And then they're gonna switch on over to, oh man, there's so much wealth. I'm gonna do this and that and this and that. And eventually, population is gonna start decreasing the rate they increase and then leveling off and diving down as their baby boom dies off.
Yeah, I think the whole abortion thing, the only way that changes, I think, where I guess states start becoming more pro-life again, it'll be from a cultural change.
Right. I mean,
as of right now, we're not seeing that cultural go that way. But there are things that could suggest it could go that way again.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Okay, so like, I think it should be a cultural thing in general. Like, I think it should be looked very down upon to have an abortion.
Right.
I do think culturally we should now. This is actually a hot take. I think you should look down upon a chosen abortion, even if it is like for good financial reasons and stuff like that. Like medical ones, it's unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? It's a medical one, you know. Like,
medical
it's not the
one
same.
that threatens the life of mom.
Yeah, yes, it threatens the life of the mother. But when I'm talking about like financial, or I'm too young for this, my life would be ruined. Maybe I even would agree if I was in your position that I would do that. But you still made the mistake, and people are gonna hate me for this.
Well, that comes down to the whole thing of responsibility.
Right, you decided to do the dance with no pants, right? And if you didn't decide, well then.
And that's both on the girl and the guy too.
Yeah, if you didn't decide to do the dance with no pants, you got raped or something. Yeah, no, obviously,
Right.
Get that shit out of you.
100%.
But like, if you decided to do the dance with no pants, you're kind of responsible. Now, I believe I would have been very much in support of issue 1 if they would have done it, fair for both sides. If you can abort the child, I can financially abort the child. Which means I don't have to ever I can say I don't want my name associated with them. I will never be able to contact them. I have no guardianship of them, and I have no financial responsibility for that child.
Oh, you think that should have been included?
I agree because if the woman can get an abortion for financial reasons, then the dude should be able to say I don't want to pay for that forever because I made a mistake one night.
Right.
It should be fair to both sides. But that right there will never get passed. I guarantee it. I guarantee it will never pass. Even though it's blatantly misandry. Like
if you're talking the way you are about it being equal responsibility,
yeah,
sure, in that whatever world that is, but we don't, and I would agree that it probably shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Because obviously I think it's better that people are responsible
right.
for their actions than not being.
Maybe, yeah.
But I allow exceptions though.
I don't know. If I impregnate a woman, okay, if I'm being honest, I was about to say like fuck that kid, but like if I'm being honest with myself, I couldn't do that. It would haunt me at night.
Right. You would ultimately take the responsibility.
Not ultimately. I'd immediately take responsibility because I could feel it.
Well, yeah, I would do the same.
But fuck that kid is what I wanted to say. But like at the same time, like what I wouldn't want, I would take responsibility. I'd marry her and I'd take care of the kid personally. What I wouldn't want is her just being able to suck fucking child support off me constantly through the power of law. Because if I don't get caught with that child support, you know what ends up happening? I go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now a slave to this woman, essentially, when you think about it. It's not a tough stretch, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a hot take, I guess. But yeah, what else was there on the ballot? Nothing else.
Well, lots of judge shit.
Yeah.
The local politics here. Yeah,
I don't know, there was a drama in the Plain Township ones. Something about, I actually can't remember their names. I researched all of them that day, and when I research, I really mean I learned about everything they've done prior and so on and so forth.
Does anyone remember their names after it's all said and done? No one does.
I know the controversy was between the last person whose last name started with an H and was male, and there's a controversy with a new person
for judges.
I think it was, I want to say Board of Education people.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it was judges. Dude, my brain's so messed up. I learned all this the day of because I'm an irresponsible person. You guys should care more about your local elections. This is a guy who learned about it the day of. But, I did do like 4 hours of research. So. But yeah, I know. I feel like I chose right for the most part.
For the issues?
For the judges and for the issues, I disagree with that. Maybe I should have voted yes on issue 1. Maybe. I don't know. That's going to be something that I debate in my head for a while.
Yeah. Like I said, I think also with it being not worded well.
It's very, it was a bad amendment.
No matter which way you look at it.
It was just not a well written amendment.
I think no matter which way you look at it, if you
Maybe it was if you want to use it for everything.
are at least an objective person, it puts you in a tough position.
I do like how they said women specifically for some parts, though. For like reproductive. I think they mentioned women specifically for most of it.
Which is good.
I think they should have just said for people. Why do I say that? Because then you could argue for what I just said before. So about the financial stuff.
That
I have reproductive rights.
Yeah. Well, I was saying the whole, women, because it clearly defines,
Which is good.
Women.
Yeah, but they should have clearly defined way more than women. It could have clearly defined like what's allowed, what's not allowed.
Right.
So on and so forth. But then you'd be giving the government power. I don't know. My brain is so split on that. But yeah. What else has been going on?
In terms of elections and shit?
Oh, we got Biden.
Is this the next place where we want to go? Talk about the...
Why not? What do you want to talk about, Marky? It's your turn to pick.
We can talk about this for a bit.
Okay. Are you riding with Biden?
I'm riding with Biden. No, I'll skip that train. I don't think Biden even knows who he's riding with.
Man's riding right into his fucking grave. Holy shit. They got a sleepy fucking Joe.
I feel that the...
I want whatever they put him on for those debates.
There are contingency plans that I feel are starting to be put in place, but they don't want to admit that they're doing it. They don't want to admit the problem with Biden.
Look, actions speak louder than words. If someone's talking to you, if you're talking to someone and they're facing away from you and their feet are pointed towards the door, they don't want to listen to you. They want to walk away, okay? Look, they're ready to walk away to take his place. They don't need to tell us. They're showing us. You know? Well, maybe maybe I'm crazy.
I think right now, the guy that might get the pick if all goes south with Biden, the backup plan, I'm thinking it's Gavin Newsom.
I don't know anything about that guy. Let me be straight up with you. I've heard his name a bunch, but
he's the governor of California.
Oh, you lose. It's over.
You didn't know anything about this guy? Nothing. Wow.
Marky, I told you I purposely stayed out of politics until this Israel-HAMAS stuff because I had to get back in. It was too juicy. Okay.
Well, I'll kind of fill you on his latest spoof.
Ooh.
So you probably heard the news. There's a big I think like Asian leadership summit in San Francisco.
I have heard of this actually.
And, Xi Jinping was there.
Right.
So
they did some fucked up yeah. Go ahead.
So Xi Jinping was there. And they're in San Fran that they cleaned up. They cleaned up real nice. Cleaned up a bunch of tents, the trash, and the people.
Technically in San Fran, that's highly illegal to do for any reason.
What?
To clean those people out. So they're allowed to be there by law.
So Gavin Newsom was at a press conference at a podium, and something must have been asked of him, like, "Are you doing this for Xi Jinping?" He's like, no. He said himself. He said, "Are we doing this because Xi Jinping is coming in?" He's like, yeah. Of course, that's the reason why we're doing this.
No shit.
He's like, but then he says, when you have people over, though, don't you clean up the mess?
No, fuck. You just call those people a mess. That's crazy.
I think he literally said, you clean up, you clean your house, you clean your mess.
How could you call those people a mess? Aren't you supposed to be so liberal and progressive?
So the question is Governor Newsom gonna keep the mess cleaned up, or
no? I guarantee you. Look at the feces map; it's back.
Or is once the little party's over, is everyone gonna go back to normal? Like, hey, go back to your corner. So Gavin Newsom is a quite interesting guy. He's already been to back in October. He was in China, anyways, doing some diplomacy shit with some Chinese counterparts.
Hey man, if you want to hang out with
I think he might have been in Israel too.
I'm sorry, there's one thing to hang out with Putin, okay? Putin, he's a dictator, okay? Yeah, obviously, tyrant, At least he's an impressive tyrant, okay? He's an impressive tyrant because, man was hacking the government, running, record track times, best KGB agent ever, or something crazy.
Maybe one of the best.
He proved he was the best because he killed everybody.
Now he's the leader of Russia.
And now he's the leader of Russia. Terrible person. Impressive. Terrible person. Impressive, okay? He's like the big bad evil guy. Xi Jinping, he was crafty politically, but honestly, the guy's incompetent. And
It's very incompetent. He's not with it.
He's genociding people. He's a genocidal dictator, okay? There's dictators and then there's genocidal dictators. I think those are different levels, okay?
Xi Jinping is in an echo chamber.
Xi Jinping is in a solitary confinement chamber with a bunch of fucking women. The guy, no one wants to talk to him anymore because he kills people when they talk to him.
He's not in contact with his Secretary of Defense or Secretary of State equivalent in China.
Because when someone brings him bad news, he kills the messenger.
No.
You know what I mean?
So like he is in his own world.
Which is scary. No one tells him shit, so the whole fucking place is falling apart. I mean, did you guys see? I don't know how much you guys keep up with Chinese news. Okay, did you guys see what happened to the forbidden
city?
The forbidden city. Thank you, Marky.
Oh, it's Beijing.
Yeah, all of Beijing got flooded. Okay, and they tried to cover it up, and then they flooded it all out to the lower cities and killed so many people, and they refused to talk about how many people died in Beijing and the other places. They were like, "Oh, we controlled it so well." And bro, there's video. You can go online, and they said like they said at the time. I don't know what they're saying now. At the time, they were saying like tens of deaths. Okay, you can go online and see videos of people of more than 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And these are just the videos that slipped through the cracks of different individuals floating to their death, either in cars or just down the river, okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, am I being crazy?
No, you're not. We're not sponsored by the CCP. We're not LeBron
like,
James.
It just is like we're going to let him get away with all that craziness. Continuing to genocide the Uyghurs, and all at the same time invite them over for fucking tea and crumpets at the fucking San Francisco. We even cleaned up the homeless people, which we don't clean up for anybody for any reason ever in San Fran.
So yeah, this is
fuck that guy.
So Gavin Newsom is
I decided fuck that guy.
Is the left's little political sweetheart right now.
I don't even know anything else. Guy's out of my mind. I'm sorry, I'm just being a dick.
And it'd be interesting if they bring him in because
what is his other characteristics? You haven't said anything about his policy differences from the normal Biden Democrat.
It's pretty much the same.
It's pretty much the same.
Like I said, I don't know much about him, but like I said, he's probably in his mid-50s.
Mid-50s, huh?
Seems with it.
Okay.
He's well-spoken.
Okay. So
good-looking guy.
Obvious improvement over Biden. I don't know why anyone would ever pick Biden.
So yeah, it's an interesting. I don't know Gavin Newsom's policies.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
He's a Chinese cocksucker. Okay.
But he seems like the guy they're pushing for.
Sucker the Chinese cock.
If all goes to hell with Biden. But as of now, it's President Biden running. He is adamant that he's running. Donald Trump.
I mean, whatever they're feeding him to make him believe that I want some. That sounds crazy.
Donald Trump is still. I think he's gonna be on the ballot.
I don't know, man. So.
Winners, I think he's gonna be on the ballot.
I want to believe you. I want to believe you.
I don't think that's gonna stop him this shit.
I want to be 100% clear of my opinion. I don't want Donald Trump to be the guy. Okay.
I don't want either of them.
I don't want him to be the guy. But if I have to pick a guy, he's the guy. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. Like, I like to look at the Western Bloc countries. Western Bloc. what is wrong? Eastern Bloc countries.
Eastern Bloc.
Like Romania, right? And the opinions that people have there about this kind of thing. Because they're used to dealing with corruption and like these kind of like using the government to like fuck over on people, right?
Right.
And to them, it seems blatantly obvious this is what's happening to Trump, okay? And that's from a third person perspective that we have nothing that we have, that has nothing to do with us, okay? I mean, we're in the U.S. Everyone has something to do with us, but still.
Right.
It's third party, so it's a little bit more credible. And from my perspective, it seems like a lot of bull crap. Now, I think that we should go back and arrest everybody who's ever been in office. I think that's a great idea. If we're going to arrest Trump, I think we should arrest everybody. You know what? Throw them all away. Shut the whole thing down. It's over, okay?
Obama,
every
Bush,
fucking one of them, okay?
Cheney.
I don't give a fuck.
All right.
If you even ran for office, you should be... I'm kidding. Anyway, sorry. I'm just... James.
And then...
Rant there for a second.
And then we have the monkey wrench, I think.
RFK.
RFK, which that's the interesting one.
RFKJ.
RFK Jr. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think about RFK?
Do you want my honest answer right now?
What are we doing here if we don't get the honest answer, Marky?
All right. Well, I probably will agree more with Trump on his policies. I think RFK is who I want to go for because he seems almost just as big as a middle finger to the establishment as Trump is.
Did you guys hear this? Marky's a COVID.
I'm a vaccine denier.
I can't believe that was like the one thing everyone's. Oh, anyways, go ahead. Sorry, continue. I apologize. Meme aside.
I think he seems real for sure to me. I don't agree with all of his policies, but I think
there's a couple policies I just don't.
Yeah, he's for affirmative action. He's this weird thing. It sounds like reparations, but he says they're not.
They're reparations. I don't care what smoke he's like blowing up people's asses. He's trying to do reparations. Okay, it's bullshit.
Yeah, but his whole thing of trying to disentangle all this corporate government intermixing.
That's cool.
I like that's his big thing.
The problem is he's going to do it in a fucked up way that extends the powers of the government. Because even when Trump did it, he extended some of the powers of the government. And, I hate that. Look, someone needs to go in and abuse the shit out of the powers of government to remove the powers of government. I don't know how to do that, but that's how it needs to be done. Yeah.
So, I mean, and he's dealt with this. He was a lawyer who went after I think the FDA, a lot of these big federal agencies, and won cases.
No one ever wins against the ATF. Even if you win, they'll come and get you.
I think though
shoot your dog.
My big reason why I want RFK, I'm going with him for now. I feel like he could it will put the nation in a little more confusion of like, how do we look at this guy as an independent? I think maybe it might be a start potentially to heal the country, because I think people are a little more unsure.
I think more people on the right than people on the left vote for him, and I think the left wins.
And that's the thing. That's the big deal, though.
That's why a
lot of people on the right are liking RFK because he's more of an old school liberal.
That's why
more 90s liberal.
That's why when we were just talking about this during our little intermission, we'll call it, okay?
So during our intermission, we were talking to someone we know here.
Yeah.
And so he
thinks that Trump's gonna win. I want him to be right. I want him to be right.
Over who's currently running, yes, I hope Trump wins. But with the whole RFK thing, it's a little, it's shaky.
Marky over here was saying the same thing. I personally think that because of RFK, I think that the left wins. Even if they got a Gavin Newsom guy up there. I don't know. I'm trying to call him the CCP plug, okay?
Yeah, I think I don't know.
CCP contact.
They got if they want to put someone else in for Biden, they gotta do it soon. I think the later they decide,
They gotta do it now.
That's what I'm saying. They gotta do it now, or like here by the end of the year. But now would be the time, because if you put another guy in, like a couple months before the election, let's say the spring or summer, it's going to create pandemonium. No one's going to really know what to say about Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, that's why they're going to be riding with Biden.
And Trump is going to fucking annihilate him.
Here's the real question. We're placing bets on, do both Trump and Biden make it, not in a coffin to the next election?
Well, but okay. We talk about literally or figuratively. Politically.
Literally.
Oh, literally. Trump seems like he's doing pretty well. He's up there at UFC, fucking running around with Kid Rock and fucking Dana White.
He does seem pretty healthy.
Trump's. When I'm older, I want whatever he's on.
Yeah, me too. Well, no. I want whatever Biden's on, because they took a man who was like gone and brought him back to like almost sane. Almost.
Well, he's like
moments.
He's like Emperor Palpatine in Episode 9. That's what I say. He's like Palpatine. They brought back pretty much a dead guy, but it's like a dead guy but kind of alive right now.
Oh my god! But yeah. No, I want that. I want all of it. Okay. I want to be moving like a 20-year-old at 100. Okay. 105.
Yeah, no, Trump seems perfectly fine, I think. Like, only if something horrible happens.
Man, good thing the CIA is so reformed and good nowadays.
I think anything that anomalous happens to him, I'm worried on the reaction.
Even if the guy just dies from like a really natural cause, everyone's gonna be like, "Yep." I mean, I know what I'll think. I'll be like, "Yep, they got him."
It's gonna be confusion.
It was a CIA and FBI. Look. Okay, I'm a big CIA FBI
fan.
Yeah, fan. That's what I was gonna say.
Fan.
I'm a big fan. I love their work. Okay, they're your stuff with JFK, just immaculate. Okay, good work. Good.
So you think Biden's not going to make it till next election?
Odds are yes, but I just think it's an interesting bet to make.
I think they will both still be alive.
I don't know, man.
Now Biden
Whatever's eating his brain, it's accelerating.
Whatever. The thing is, politically though, I don't know. I think it depends how things. It depends how time goes with Biden. It's literally like whatever's going on with him, it's time dependent.
How do I say this? If you walk off mid-event to go get ice cream because the ice cream truck went past.
Allegedly.
No. We all saw the video.
Was there ice cream? Was this one outside?
I think so.
Maybe you're right.
I think there was an ice cream truck. You know what though? You know what? My fat ass mid whatever. If ice cream's involved, maybe I'm grabbing some. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, really, honestly, some of the shit he does go to is pretty dumb.
I can't believe all the times he just walked off into the middle of the lawn, the White House lawn.
Chalky Chip was waiting for me.
Look. If you're riding with Biden, let your arguments be known. Come and talk to me wherever you can find me. Okay, I am interested because I love to hear the opposite argument. I've heard arguments from the left on it, and none of them have been overwhelmingly convincing. I mean, the arguments for Trump aren't so convincing either, but I'm on their side. Maybe I'm on their team, so I understand. On their team is a big word, but I'm more on their team than I am with Biden. So maybe I am a little more understanding. You're
allied with them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
But for your own, you're a realist in that situation. Like,
I have to ally with them.
What do they benefit me, and how do I benefit them? What
Right.
I mean? How they benefit me?
They benefit my goals for the nation, because
Right.
I have an agenda. But yeah,
The agenda of winners.
but yeah, do you honestly think that if Trump ends up on the ballot, if it's Biden, RFK, and Trump, you think Trump wins? Because we know RFK is going to be on the ballot. That's undeniable.
He seems like, look, Ross Perot back in the 90s was on the ballot. And it seems like RFK has just as much, if not more, of traction than Ross Perot.
Unless something goes terribly wrong for him PR-wise, RFK is going to be on the ballot. And
I think he'll take a good chunk of the votes, I think.
he's going to be the youngest option, which is actually something people consider because
True.
We're sick of old guys. Now, he's still going to be an old guy, but he's not going to be an 80-year-old guy, okay?
I think without RFK on the ballot, if something happens, then yes, Trump would win. I think.
You think?
Because I thought the 2020 was going to Trump.
Yeah, I told him Biden was gonna win. Everyone else, they looked at me kind of weird. I voted for Trump. Okay, full transparency. I'll always tell you who I voted for. Okay, because I don't care.
I like how that used to be a secret. It still is kind of a secret for some people.
It's people really do care about, and it makes sense. You should care about your privacy. It's very important.
But I think it's also.
But as the resident insane person, I have to tell you all my opinions. Okay, have you never talked with an insane person on like the bus or something? It goes just like this. They'll tell you everything. Yeah, I told them Biden was gonna win. Everyone looked at me like I was saying like something weird. Of course, Biden was gonna win. I mean,
the media was in his favor.
100%. And it's not like it was in 2016. 2016, Hillary let off the gas because she thought she was coming. Like she thought she was at the end of the marathon. She's like, "There's the finish line. I'm gonna jog the finish." And then Trump sprinted the last 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he ended up passing her up. That's what happened there. They kept the pressure on even after the election. They kept pressure. There was nothing to be done.
I wonder if it's gonna be likely that RFK is in the ballot.
Yeah.
I wonder if
that will be an L for Trump.
I wonder if
Immediately.
If that happens and Trump loses and Biden wins, I wonder how much hate's gonna get put on RFK. Just because people voted for him.
Yes.
Oh, there will be hate. I just wonder how much.
No. How much? The answer is yes.
Yes, there'll be hate though.
There'll be all the hate.
Trump will attack him for basically fucking him over.
Trump will attack him prior to the thing.
Oh yeah.
To get him off of it, and so will the left.
I haven't seen Trump really criticize RFK yet.
I don't think he disagrees with them all that much.
Trump actually did say, I think before he actually turned independent, RFK, that he said something like, "Oh, he would be like a good, good VP or something." He said something about that, like something like the idea of VP.
Yeah, if I was Trump, I'd be trying to get him VP too, because fuck, Mike Pence fucked me over. Whether or not everything that happened with that is true or false or whatever, no matter what, Pence fucked him over. Okay, so I'm looking for a VP that's gonna be solid. Okay. And I'm gonna pick a Kennedy because we know the Kennedys hate the institution. Okay,
Hate the establishment.
They have to hate the establishment because the establishment wants them dead.
I wonder how much convincing Trump would have to do to RFK, which I don't think he could convince him in any way. For him to like, hey, listen, be my VP. Like,
you will. I promise you, RFK. I promise you don't win. I promise RFK doesn't win.
Even though I'd like to see RFK win, he won't win.
I would love to see an independent win because I just fucking hate the Republican and I hate the Democratic Party.
That's why I want to see.
So
I want to see the shock of America if an independent. I just want to see that.
It would be more than what happened in 2016. You know what I mean?
I think people would be.
It would change the vote. You know what would end up happening? The voting system would change after that. I guarantee it.
I truly believe if an independent won, it would change the way we vote.
Right, because now the establishment's like, okay, the way we vote's fucked up because the only way RFK wins, is if like 30% Biden, 30% Trump, 40% RFK.
Right.
It's the only way he's gonna sneak through because he's not getting the majority. I'll tell you that.
And if he goes on only if also he goes on a tear of a campaign here, right? It's like starting now.
Yeah, he needs to really kick it up.
And that's what I think
everybody needs to know the name RFK Jr. Okay.
People know it, but they're not. They're very unsure.
No. They need to know it. They need to know what he stands for.
They need to know
They
it.
need to know why he's better than everyone. He's not gonna win. I'm telling you. Even if I gave him all the funding of the other two candidates, he would still lose.
But he's gonna have an impact, though.
Right.
He's gonna impact.
Part of me, if he's not gonna win, I'd rather him not run. But that's a messed up meta way to look at it.
I get you, but at the same time, it's like if he doesn't run, then it's like what the fuck's the point of his whole thing? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like I'd rather kind of have just the idea out there than it not be there.
If I guarantee you, if RFK's on the ballot, the left wins. I guarantee it. If I'm wrong, and you know, this podcast will be over by the time I'm wrong, so.
I unfortunately agree with you. I do unfortunately agree with you. The only way I let's go back again.
Okay, go back.
You think Trump's not going to be on the ballot?
No, I think he probably.
I think he makes it because I don't think
they have enough. I agree with you.
It just seems like there's not enough. There's not enough just like structural rule that says why he can't be on the ballot. It just seems like there's really not like a whole lot of rules of saying like, oh, he's a president with these he's a guy with these charges, but nothing's preventing him really.
He could always just pardon himself after he becomes president.
He could. Everything's good. They literally asked him the last day, like, President Trump, don't you want to pardon yourself? And he's like, no, I'm not.
That's crazy. I would have done it.
But if he wins though,
would you have pardoned yourself?
I don't know. Me want to be a humble person. I want to say no, but if I was in his situation,
I would have pardoned myself. I would have done it immediately.
So lesson one, kids.
Well,
don't fucking get yourself in these situations.
If he pardoned himself, they would have held that against him.
Oh yeah. But I don't think it'd really do anything. Like people hold like, oh, he pardoned himself. How can you?
He knows he did it wrong. He pardoned himself.
Right.
I pardoned myself so you couldn't come get my ass.
So
okay?
I think Trump's gonna be in the ballot. I don't have any.
It's not standard for presidents to pardon themselves. That's pretty weird. Presidents don't normally pardon themselves.
No, they don't.
No. What president pardoned themselves? I can't even think of one.
Probably if there is, it's probably
Andrew Jackson.
It's probably yeah, he probably needed to pardon himself.
Hey man, I'm kind of related to that guy probably. I think.
But if this legal shit goes south for Trump,
yeah,
it will be pandemonium for the Republican Party. I don't know who they'll get. Who do you think gets that nomination? DeSantis just seems fucking a mess right now.
Fuck that guy. I actually hate him. Hate is strong. I don't actually hate these people. I don't know them, but like I dislike his policies a lot. I don't like the guy. Pretty authoritarian.
He just seems even his government. He's kind of gotten a little crazy at the government shit.
Yeah,
as a governor,
he just loves power, like every other government person ever. Okay.
I mean, I don't want Nikki Haley in there either.
I don't even know who that is. I've heard her name, trust me, but I don't even know anything about her.
She's a neocon.
I'm interested. What kind of neocon? There's different varieties. She the Warhawk variety. Which one?
In military-industrial complex,
it's
baby.
It's been a minute since we've had a Warhawk conservative, but the neocon, man, more populist leaning or?
No, no,
Pretty neutral, not liberty leaning either.
not. I wouldn't say too liberty leaning.
So she's right down that center, huh?
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like pretty tied with the establishment.
Mm.
Then there's Vivek Ramaswamy, who's the other interesting guy.
I like him.
I like Vivek.
He'll never win.
He could get a VP though. I could see that Trump and
That would
Vivek.
no, that's brilliant.
Trump Ramaswamy. Oh my god,
Dude, because like finally someone's sane to fucking make him think. Ramaswamy is a very smart person. I think he's the smartest Republican candidate.
Oh yeah, I think. See, I'm nervous though. Everyone was like the whole Trump Pence dude, like, oh, Trump's kind of this like the big person, but Mike Pence this good like normal American guy. So I'm like, I don't. But the thing is, like, I don't. Trump and Vivek, Vivek's not like this calm guy. He's a pretty energetic dude. So it's like it's kind of interesting. You got two energetic guys. One guy's maybe a little more articulate with his words, while the other guy's not articulate.
Sane. You mean sane?
Sane. One's sane, the other one's kind of.
Look, if I was debating for Trump, I would never use the word insane because I'd be trying to like win the debate. But he's insane. I mean,
he is insane. Like he knows what he's
insane. I mean, like what do you want from me? The guy said, "I will bomb Moscow on Twitter.
I will bomb the shit out of him.
I will bomb Moscow." That's why Putin didn't dare do that shit 2016, 2020. He's like, nah, I'm not doing that shit. Dude, I invaded during Obama when he was drone striking people. And I invaded after Trump left with Sleepy Joe. But, dude, I'm not invading with the guy who says he said directly as possible, I will bomb Moscow if you do that. Like, that's crazy. Can you imagine? Oh, man.
You know, Putin is a guy who understands power, and he hears those words. He's like, "Fuck!" Knowing it's coming from Trump. Not now. If Biden said that, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, okay."
Yeah, I bet.
But like when Trump says that, he's probably honestly like, I don't know if this guy's legit. It's like buff, like if he's like if he's buffing or not. It's like he might do it.
That's why I love to be the craziest guy in the room. Okay, no one knows when you're bluffing. Okay, no one knows. No one knows if what you said was a joke or not, but they have to laugh anyway.
So that's why the whole geopolitical scene of Trump was pretty. Everything's calm.
Yeah. Ish.
Or everything was so tense, it just didn't know what to do.
It was like everyone was frozen with tension.
I think everyone's tense because they're like, we don't know what to do, so we're just going to
stay cool. This guy may just press the button. He is out of here. I don't think he'd ever press the button.
No. If it really came down to it, like if it really, I think he would react.
But the fact there's even like a 1% chance in your brain that he might press the button, that's enough to make you think, okay.
Maybe we should reevaluate.
Maybe we should reevaluate this person. But then he pressed the button anyways. I know if I was in office, I would never press the button.
Right. All right. We're almost going for 2 hours.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
It says it right there.
Are you positive?
I am positive.
Dude, I feel like we've had a 3-hour podcast.
We've kind of been here for a while.
Yeah, we've been here for a hot minute. We talked to an interesting individual in between.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, so episode
Episode 1, The Horsemen of Conquest.
Before Podcast of the Apocalypse, episode 42 of the Just North Hell podcast is concluded. So yeah,
hey, get out of here. Go hug your family. Appreciate the taste of water. Okay, get yourself some Sand Rock water. It's delicious. Okay, not sponsored.
May you're listening to this on Thanksgiving, which that's when it airs.
Enjoy it.
Smoke your turkeys. Don't put them in the oven.
They're good in the oven too. Don't listen to them. You know what you should do? Smoke yourself a blunt. Go ahead, smoke yourself a blunt and then go play some football in the morning. Dude, that sounds like a great time.
I might know someone who might be doing that.
I know someone who might be doing it's not me. I'm telling you, it's not me.
It's not me either.
I'm abstaining from all intoxicants for a very long time. But
we'll get you a break on a special occasion.
Yeah, probably. But still.
All right, everyone. Peace
Peace
out.
out.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Good
And we'll
dreams.
see you next time. Peace.
The information or opinions expressed during the Just North of Hell podcast are solely those of the individuals involved. The primary purpose of this podcast is entertainment. As such, the Just North of Hell podcast is not responsible and does not verify any of the information contained in the podcast.